Welcome back to Clueless Classics. Here we are at Selby TVR on a very chilly Yorkshire morning. This morning, we're going to spend some time on the interior following last week's suspension work. Let's see what Steve finds behind the dashboard. Following on from the last video, we had to sort out the geometry of the car. If you'd like to see a more detailed video on this, let me know in the comments and we'll film one in the future when we change the wheels and tyres. Right, Steve, we're going to mix it up a bit today.
Definitely, yeah.
What's the plan?
So, I think we're going to do a bit on the interior today. I know the dash is something that's quite high on your priority list. Obviously, it's something that you see when you're driving it, and yeah, it would benefit from a refresh. So, we'll get the dash top off. I'll show you how to do that. We'll take the top part of the dash off, the middle bit of the dash as well. We'll get the radio out, get that stripped down. I know you're going to have it modified to accommodate the extra gauges that we've got. So, yeah, I'll leave that in your hands. But yeah, I'll do the work of getting it out, getting it stripped, show you how that works. I know you've also mentioned you've got some new carpet as well for the car.
Yeah, we're going to trial and see if we like the colour before the big investment at Coverdale to get a new interior. So
no problem at all. So I think what we'll do, we'll take a door card off and go from there really. So yeah, so to get the dash top off, obviously this one is quite loose, so it's not been fastened down correctly, but traditionally there's a bolt which goes that way, roughly about there. There's one that way, about there. And then there's one just on the other side of the dash, which is a little bit more awkward. 10mm again, which sort of goes that way. So the way you access those, they have a little glove box under here, which should be held up with two little Phillips self-tappers. I'll unscrew these because when we put it back together, we'll put it back properly. So unscrew those, and then you can reach your hand in. They're a little bit awkward, to put it politely. And then you can feel the bolt. So yeah, there's certainly no nut, that one. I don't think there's a bolt outside by the feel of it. Ah, yes, there is, but it's not in position. When it goes back together, we'll do a bit more of a proper job with that. So once they're undone, you can lift the top of the dash just like that. You have to be mindful of the bolt this side because they can damage the leather on the dash, so you'd want to be quite careful when you're doing that. It does look a little bit of a mess under there as well, to be fair. There's some aftermarket spurious wiring going on, so I would generally just pop a little screwdriver in there just to lift that up. So the other dash bolt is about here. Now, originally they were quite long, which made them quite difficult to get past the dash and past the screen trim. So generally, if the dash has been out, we'd either chop that down or put a shorter bolt in, just make life easier going forward. I suspect that's probably been removed already, but I will just have a reach in just to feel. So yeah, so there's no nut on there and it is a short bolt, so that will make life easier. So that just lifts off like that. These can be a little bit precarious to get out, so they have a habit of pulling some of the trim with them as well, so you just need to be mindful of that. Yeah, so there's the bolt that we mentioned on that side, and then you've got your two mounting ones over the other side, there and there.
Oh, bit of graffiti, here we go.
The famous graffiti. So what have we got there? WR, guessing probably the guy who either did the trimming or the fiberglass work originally. The 135 could be part of the VIN number, because they used to put those on so they knew which cars were what. And yeah, and a date stamp as well, 29th of the 1st, 96.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an auto electrician, but I can already see that things don't look too great behind there.
So yeah, this is a little bit of a mess under there, I must admit. All the heater stuff's loose, isn't it? They're normally screwed on, so we'll put that back a little bit better than that is. There's also a lot of spurious wiring going on, isn't there? These are normally fairly straightforward. They have 3 little block connectors which unscrew. They would generally have a little screw under there which is also missing. So I think the dash itself is pretty loose and pretty much good to go. One thing worth remembering before you take the dash top off, they have a couple of wires which go to the switch under here, which is for the backlights of the dash.
Oh, I didn't know there was a switch under there.
If you put the dash lights on there,
oh, no way.
There's a little switch which turns the lights on or off. Now, it's quite easy to knock with your knee, so it's not an uncommon fault that, well, particularly in the early days when they were new, that somebody would knock that switch with the knee, turn the dash lights off, and then say, my dash light's out working. And it was always a nice, easy fix. So, yep, quick press of the button and we're back on. So, but the wires are actually part of the loom for the dash, so we'll just pull that switch out, disconnect those and thread the wires through. Only other thing really we've got to take off, which is still attached, are just the heater cables. Always worth marking those up as well, because obviously one does the temperature, one does the direction for the airflow, so we'll just put a little, I just normally put a little bit of insulation tape or something like that on the top one, just so I know which is which when it goes back together. So yeah, now we're going to whiz off these heater cables. So I put my little blue tape on as well, so I know which is the top cable and which is the lower one.
Now, I've never used the heater in this car.
Right, okay. Does the blower motor work?
I don't know.
Right, that's fair.
Because when I try and twist the dial, the whole mechanism moves.
That's
Probably another one.
Right, we can have a look at that. The blower motors are sort of all at an age now where they're starting to fail. They are a bit of a chew of a job, more awkward than anything. So the blower motors are in the passenger footwell. You've got to take the battery out, and then there's like a fiberglass panel which is bonded and riveted down as well. It would be nice if it is working, because I don't mind not changing that if it doesn't need
We'll have a look.
Well, yeah, exactly. Might be worth popping the ignition on and just seeing if it does. No, there's nothing out of there. But saying that, some of the wiring has been doctored, to put it politely. Before we dive into the motor, I'd want to just have a look at the wiring first, but we can do that when it's all out. We can see everything a bit better, but yeah, fingers crossed it's not the motor.
Knowing my luck, it's going to be the motor.
So they just come off there. It's worth keeping an eye where they were. This has had a bit of tape on, because they can slip through those clips as well. Obviously, when you put the heat or alter the direction, it can pull the cable, so they want to be nice and tight, and it's always nice to put stuff back where it was if it was working previously. So yeah, it's definitely been off before. Someone's put a bit of tape around, so makes life.
So how do these strange?
Yeah, they're quite nice, aren't they?
Yeah, I like them. How does that moving those two cables there adjust the heating, Steve?
The temperature one goes down to a little valve in the passenger footwell, funnily enough. Basic plumbing, I suppose. It's just an open and shut valve. It just circulates around and lets the hot air through the heater matrix or not. When the blower was working, it would blow air through the heater matrix, and obviously you've got hot water going through it, so the air that comes out the other side is going to be hot. You shut that off, the hot water doesn't circulate through it, so yeah, so it'd be cold. Simple, but works.
And the direction?
Yep, similar sort of thing. Disc. Yeah, little valve with a box under the dash, and yep, shuts one off. Obviously it'll send either air up through the top vents to your windscreen, or through your lower vents, which are just hidden underneath your radio in there.
So what mark Chimaera is this, Steve? Because there were a few, weren't there?
Well, yeah, I mean, TVR's tended to evolve rather than been a specific Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. So yours it's quite an early car. Obviously it's got the earlier type front end, which has the mesh grille, or should have the mesh grille, which I know it's something that we're probably going to reinstate at some point. Door locks on yours are the push button ones just on the B post there. The earlier style had a key hole in there. That's how you sort of lock them in the central locking. There was a bit of a technique where you had to push them, spin around, hold them a second, turn it around, and they were a bit of a faff to sort out. So the later ones, they got rid of the key opening and just put the smoother ones on, and the locking was on the key fob. Yours has got the later gearbox, the T5 gearbox. The earlier cars had the LT77, the Rover ones. But yours has got the earlier GKN diff. Right. You've also got the later dials as well. The earlier cars had slightly different clocks in them. So, yeah, I'd probably say a late Mark 1 is where I'd put it.
Well, thank you, Steve, for that little TVR history lesson. Let's get back to unplugging that dashboard.
Two of the connectors. So, in theory, there's 3 connectors like this, which we have to just undo. And then it should come off, but obviously there's quite a bit of wiring chopped. So I've got a funny feeling there might be something else that we might have to undo. They're on nice and tight. Just keep me on my toes. There we go. I suspect they've not been off for a while. No, literally the dash should come. That should all be attached to that. Yeah, so there's a few bits that are gonna give us a little bit of aggro.
Can't wait to get this back to how it should be. It's driving me up the wall, this kind of thing.
I know, it's a mess, isn't it? I mean, in all fairness, they do look a bit of a mess at the best of times under here, but it's a tidier mess and everything's a bit...
No pressure, but I've got to leave in this in half an hour.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Dashboards are overrated anyway. Splicing into the heater. That could be why it's not working. Somebody's maybe taking the power off for something else. A couple of little connectors at the back of there. That's giving me a bit more scope. So, yeah. So now, in theory, what have we got there? What I might do is just get a little cover or something just to protect the dash stand. So yeah, that's always handy where you've got your yellow wire into a blue wire, and a blue and a red into a yellow and black for the spurious ones. So, but at least there's connectors on there. What I might do is just take a quick photo of those so we can put those back in the correct position. I'm sure we can do something better with the connectors there.
Yeah.
But, so.
I'm glad we're doing this. It just looks like a fire risk.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? I mean, you've got bare wires under there. I mean, I'm not sure if that's alive or not, but even so, it's not pretty, is it? Just to have bits like that kicking about. I mean, there's a lot of insulation tape around there. Hopefully there's a spade connector at the other end of it, but I don't know. I don't want to just...
At least it's waterproof.
Well, that's it. Yeah, always comes in handy with the TVR. We know where we are with stuff. Perfect. Brilliant. So that is the dash out. I think we'll head over to the office with that and then we can start stripping it down.
So we're in Steve's office. I don't like it in here because this is where I always end up spending money.
That's it. Yeah. I like it more than you.
I thought you would.
That's what we're here for though at the end of the day.
Right, so Dash is at the car.
The dash is out. As you say, it's definitely seen better days. Yeah. It's a job I quite enjoy doing, the dashes. It's one of those, once you're finished, it does look great and you can see where you've been. So what are your plans with the finish, Dan? Are you thinking veneer or?
So I looked at the veneer dashes, but I found a silver carbon fibre.
Right, okay.
Wrap.
Right, yeah.
So I'm going to send it to the man that can, my dad, and he's going to put it in the garden workshop because he can't wait to get involved.
Good on him.
But he's also going to machine 2 new holes in the dash for
the extra gauges.
For the extra gauges. So we've got the air-fuel ratio gauge and the boost gauge.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So we're going to machine those in. And then, it's like a silver carbon fibre.
Sounds good. When it's at this stage, your car, you can do it to your spec and exactly what
a big shout out to, I think it was Matt, who's done it on his Chimaera as well. And I was looking around, it looks really good. So... yeah, we're going to go with that, I think. And if not, you can take it out again and we'll change.
Well, that's it. Yeah. That's it. There's always options. I'm just thinking something else it might be worth considering as well. Just changing the bulbs in the back of the gauges. Okay. So just a standard filament bulb, but you can put some LED brighter bulbs in. Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, nice and easy to do at this stage. So yeah, it might be worth. Let's do that. Considering. Put that on the bill. Definitely. What we're going to do now, we'll whiz the gauges out, we'll whiz all the LEDs out, show you how all that's done. Nice and straightforward, really. Done quite a few of these, I must admit. They're all at an age now where the veneers are starting to crack and split. Not quite as bad as yours, as a rule. I don't know if you've noticed on yours has got a slightly green tint as well. There was various options with the factory, as with everything TVR. You could pretty much spec it as you wanted. So you could have white dials, you could have black dials. Right. I've seen some red ones as well. Okay. You know, there's quite a few different options. So I think sort of like your minty green does work quite well with... Oh, so that's got a custom tint on. Is that on the glass or? No, it's actually on the dial face. Oh, okay. So, So I like my Colgate dials. Yeah. No, they do look well. Would you like to go through the gauges and ask me if they work or not? Well, we might as well. Speedo? No. No. Rev counter? No. No. Brilliant. So we can only make it better then. We can't make it any worse. Brilliant. Coolant gauge? Yes, I had to get that fixed quite quickly. Oh, brilliant. So that does work. So we've got one working. That's probably the most used gauge on the car. The fuel gauge? Yeah. Yeah, that works. Well, I think it works. Right, yeah. It's got to a point where I've been terrified and I haven't wanted to play it any longer, so I've just gone and brimmed the tank. It's probably a good way to be. I mean, the TBR gauges aren't always the most accurate the best of the time, so it's worth not letting it get below quarter of a tank just to be on the safe side. One thing that has come out already, the Heater LEDs, TVR in their infinite wisdom decided to super glue a lot of the LEDs in place, which is all good till you do want them to come out. Normally with a dash job I'd sort of budget a set of heater LEDs as well, you know, in the grand scheme of things, not the end of the world. You've got a 50-50 chance of them coming out or not, you know, something like yours. Again, did the lights for the heater work?
Nope.
No, so yeah, we'll pop some new LEDs in as well for you. So I mean the gauges come out fairly straightforward. One thing I used to do, I'm not so much now, but if you're doing it at home, I'd generally take a photo of the layout of the clocks because they are all the same size. I mean, all the speed and the rev counter are the same, but your gauges for your oil, fuel, coolant and clock are all the same size. So you could potentially get them in the wrong way around if you've not taken note of it. So quick photo on the phone just to remind you as you're going forward. The wiring loom, as a rule, is generally fairly simple. It all generally sort of fits in the line, so you can't really get that wrong. There is an extra gauge there, that's just on the bottom of the rev counter. That was for like a shift light, which they didn't really use on the Chimaeras. It was wired up on some Cerebras. Yeah, it looks like they've taken a feed off the back of the rev counter as well for one of the other gauges. I'm sure we can tidy that up as well. So yeah, the gauges literally just come out from the front. They have a little rubber O-ring as well. It might be worth changing those because they're quite perished on yours. So, new dash, new O-rings. We'll try and make it as smart as possible.
As nice as we can, yeah.
That's it. So they are quite badly perished, those. So I mean, they've been on a while, haven't they? So,
yeah, 30 years.
Yeah. So
slightly worrying me there's rust everywhere.
Well, that's it. I mean, the dash is quite rusty as well, isn't it? I mean, water leaks, it's not really somewhere that's an issue under the dash. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's quite a few ingress points for water on a Chimaera, but top end, not really a great deal. There's a screen, but they're pretty good, to be fair. And when they do leak, it tends to be lower down. So, yeah, leaking water into the dash is not normally a problem. It could be just sort of dampness in the car.
So are these TVR instruments then, Steve, or were there like loads of things on my car seem to be taken from other
yeah, no, these were made specifically for TVRs. Yeah, so these are the carbon style gauges, which we use sort of all on the later cars. So the earlier ones, you can identify them by the bezels really. It's probably the early cars had a black bezel, the later cars had the silver bezels.
And can you still get all these parts, Steve?
Not new, unfortunately. No, I mean there's a couple of breakers where you can get them. Also a couple of people that repair them as well. So yeah, they can. You know, if you've got a faulty gauge, it's not the end of the world.
Just call Steve and sell me TVR. That's normally the answer.
Yeah. No, I mean obviously it's not something we do in house. Our gauges is quite a specialist thing, but there's people that we use. So yeah, what we can't do, we generally know somebody that can. So we always do our best to keep the cars on the road and keep them as they should be. Yeah. You see a bit of the original veneer stuck to those seals.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So.
Now all the gauges are nearly out the way, it's time to get rid of those LEDs. And here's Steve to show us the approved TVR method.
TVR used a two-part adhesive on those, so the way we do those, we'll just give them a little chip off just to get those off, and then when its time comes, we'll bond them back in.
So you're warming, this is pretty brutal, Steve.
Well, it looks it, but it's the way we do it. Just a little tap like that. There we go. So yeah.
That's not too bad.
No, that's it. So now, Dan, I think the dash is over to you.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm going to look forward to seeing what you can do with that.
Well, what my old man can do with it.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
I'm just going to stick it in the post.
Right, come on. I like your style.
Yeah, let's see. With the main part of the dashboard out and in the post, it's now time to look at the lower dash.
So now, just having a quick look, because obviously radios, they do vary with how they come out. Various options of radio keys, but this looks like it might just have a couple of little tabs which slide out that way. That's it. Yep, so they just push into those tabs. Ah, good. Another load of bodgy wiring as well.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I know you were thinking about maybe upgrading the stereo, Dan, as well.
Yeah, so I don't really listen to the radio much because you've got a Rover V8 under the bonnet.
That's it, yeah.
But I've seen one's a Blaupunkt one, and
right,
then
yeah.
There's a couple of other radios that look
quite
90s, yeah. But they've got USB, Bluetooth,
nice, yeah.
Spotify, all that kind of thing. So I think one of those had set it off really nice.
Brilliant, yeah. No, that's it. And like I say, it's the time to do it while everything's out. Next thing, we'll just whiz out the cage as well. They just have little lock tabs which will straighten off, pull out, and then there's 4 little self-tappers underneath there. which have got little L brackets which are glued onto the back of the dash.
Luckily, the lower dash panel seems to be coming out slightly better.
Tuck all that back in there, we don't need any of that. So hopefully the connectors have not been butchered too much back here. Perfect, and that's the last connector off for that, so that's come off quite easy. That one.
That was a lot easier than the other one.
That's it, we like it when it goes to plan. So we'll whiz that back into the office as well, and I'll strip that down for you, Dan, as well. Yeah, we'll just get the switch gear off of this. Again, there's some brackets that are just bonded in, so we'll chip them off, similar sort of technique to the LEDs on the top of the dash. But yeah, so the way these come off, you just want to press the button in like that, so just so the switch actually clears the dash, and then they should just move forward like that, lift out. Simple system, but it works quite well. We'll chip these off in a minute as well, but it's worth just noting exactly the correct position of these, particularly these ones, because they obviously the screws go through the fiberglass on the car, so they want to go back in the same place. And it's also sort of fairly critical when they go in as well, because obviously when the dash is bolted up, it's got a slight curve on it, and if it's in the wrong position, the switches tend to stick or rub against the dash, so you'll turn your hazards off and then you won't be able to turn them off because you're fighting against the dash. And yeah, quite critical really to get them in the right spot. Same with these ones. You've got, I think these are leave-in, certainly leave-in style switch covers, because normally they would be black plastic, similar to your boot switch and your dash switch, which we showed you earlier.
Which I discovered earlier.
That's it. So yeah, so I mean, just next little steps for this. Covers there for the lights, they're just super glued in as well. They tend to have a little dab of super glue each end and fit where they touch. So the indicator one's half coming out, so a gentle little push, they come out. We need to keep those safe because I can't remember the last time I saw a new one of those. There we go. So yeah, that's those out. Pop them with the rest of the bits over there. Same again sort of with the brackets really. We just want to keep a note or draw around them just so we know exactly where they went when they go in. Perfect. There we go. Over to you, Dan.
Finally, it's time to address something that's been driving me absolutely up the wall: the carpet.
As regards to how they fit, fairly straightforward. If they've got an ashtray, there's a good chance there'll be a little screw inside there, normally Phillips head. We'll take the speaker grill off, the speaker out, and then the door card is actually in two pieces. So the outer bit, which is the leather trim bit, is held on with a series of bolts. There'll be one about there, one there, one there, and if you're really unlucky, one further back. The one that can be really awkward is about there. Not really required, to be honest. The bolt's there, but if we've taken it off, we generally wouldn't put the nut back on, because they're more than fine without that being tightened up, and it does make them particularly awkward to get off. So yeah, we'll make a start and we'll get it off. There we go. Yep, so there's a little screw in there. So I'll just pop the window up there. That'll just give me a bit more room inside the door to pop my arm in.
Do all windows go up that slowly? Is that
Yeah, it's a bit of a TVR trait, to be fair.
another quirk?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the first nut and washer off. One of the easy ones. The next one we'll attack will be that one, which is just to the front of the window motor. So a little bit more awkward to get to. So yeah, this is when you need to get your arm properly into the door. I think what I might have to do is just take my jumper off, just to make my arm a little bit thinner, just so I can reach in that bit deeper. So 2 seconds.
All good.
Right. Yeah.
You look like one of those, or is it the Yorkshire vet?
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, slightly less messy than his job, thankfully.
Would this be a really bad time to drop the spanner?
Yeah, it would be. And it wouldn't be the first time it's happened.
No.
Yeah, I don't think this one will be going back on.
No?
No.
So back in the 90s and noughties when you were working on these at the main dealer, Steve.
Yep.
How much stuff like this would you see? So you sit there and say, it's come from the factory like this, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So a bit like the spoilers you were telling me about and the bolts. With the stuff where you just went, no, we're not doing this. They've got it wrong in Blackpool. Kind of.
Well, no, to be fair, they were pretty good. You know, I mean, there was a few little modifications along the way that were done. More so with the later stuff, really. Your Cerbras and your T-cars and things like that. You know, little mods. I think TVR's idea of the quality control and the testing of stuff was done by the customers, really. Send the cars out, see what breaks, and then modify accordingly. Yeah, there was a few little bits and pieces that were done sort of at dealer level that the customer didn't know about. You know, we were given certain chassis numbers. When this certain car comes in, it needs this. You know, replace that.
No way, that's brilliant.
Stuff that wasn't particularly safety critical, you know, just little mods and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So it's nearly there. Perfect. Right, that's the nut off.
There we go.
I'll just reach back in and grab the washer. It's not the end of the world if the washer drops, because we can always fish it out with a magnet after.
This is this week's edition of I'm glad I'm not doing this on my driveway.
You're doing the driver's side one, Dan.
Oh,
so
no. Okay.
we're taking notes. So now we can take the door card off itself. I'll just drop the window down. Like that. So they just pull out from the bottom now that we've got everything off. There we go. Perfect.
Well, now you can see the original colour of the carpet.
What do you think?
I'm glad we changed it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it looked better originally, didn't it, than it does now?
Let me get the new colour and you can have a look. Right, Steve, here's the new carpet. What do you think? That looks...
I think that's pretty much what
As
it would
it
have
was.
had. Yeah, so yeah, I think you've picked the right colour there.
Right, I'm going to get the kettle on. All the best.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. Thank you. The next stage really is just to take this piece off. Again, nice and straightforward. It'll be held on with a few self-tappers, normally sort of there-ish. They tend to hide under the carpet, so have a little feel about, and you should be able to feel where they are. Yeah, so they're all out now, so it's a case of just lifting it off.
There we go, 30 years.
And there you go. Yeah, over to you, Dan.
I suppose I should do some work on this channel at some point, so I got the old carpet off the door as a template, started to cut it out of the new roll, tidied the edges up because I did a terrible job, applied some strong double-sided tape, some spray adhesive to both pieces, waited for it to go tacky and applied it to the fiberglass.
So Steve's just in the progress of fixing my mess.
I don't know, I think you've done an alright job, Dan.
Thanks, Steve.
First attempt.
Thank you.
It's a good effort.
You're not going to let me touch another customer's car, though, are you?
Well, no, that's it. You've got to learn somewhere, and you might as well learn on your own.
Fair. Do the honours, my good sir.
Thanking you. So, stick that in there.
It's a bad time to say I don't like the colour.
Yeah, definitely. You can change it again.
Yeah.
You'll be getting good, Dan, by the time you finish.
Yeah, fair.
What do you think?
I like it.
It's a better shade of green than the previous.
It's a much better shade of green.
Definitely.
As it should be. And I like that I've ended up just... And there was no planning in this, just ordering it from the people that made the original carpet anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the original colour.
The original colour and
There
the
you
original
go.
carpet.
Brilliant, good work. Yeah, another thing we could do, Dad, as well, I've not mentioned it before, but I don't know if you've noticed that bit there on the end of the door.
Oh, yeah.
It looks a little bit tatty. Now, what they should have, call it a door end cap, but it is basically just like a little rubber cap, which, just finishes off the edge.
Yeah.
So for quite a few years, they weren't available, but they have been now reproduced, so yeah, I think it's probably worth getting a pair of those.
Yeah, well...
I've noticed the driver's side one's missing as well, so... Yeah.
Okay,
Just
yeah,
finishes
good
it
plan.
off, makes it look a bit prettier.
One more for the shopping list.
Absolutely.
Putting everything back together.
Yep, all going back nicely. So the just awkward bit is just lining up the holes for the speakers. So just lose a bit of a braddle to find the previous ones.
The rest of the car still looks a complete mess, but I feel like we're starting to get somewhere.
I was going to say, it's always important to make sure you put the correct screw in there as well, because it looks very similar to the ones that are for the top of the door, but the ones on the top of the door are longer. So if you put the longer screw in there, it can rub on the window. You put the window up and down and it can scratch the glass. So,
Ooh, that's not great.
It's worth double checking and making sure you put the right one in. So yeah, last job, ashtray. Pop that in there. And I know you mentioned you got the trim as well. I mean, these are aftermarket, but they are nice.
What an improvement, Steve.
It does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, ignore the dashboard in the background.
Well, yeah, exactly. Work in progress.
But that is going to make such a difference. I mean, if we look at the carpet here, which is what it was.
Yeah, big improvement. I was going to say, yeah, it's going to look better. They always look worse before they look better, don't they? So, yeah. We're getting there, aren't we? We're getting there.
Well, it looks like Steve's got his work cut out once again. I need to go inside, get a cup of tea and warm up. But if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also press that subscribe button. It really helps the channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Look at that.
Look at that.